Hi everyone. So I've seen a lot in the news, and I wanted to go back to this video because it's more the micro reactions I'm looking for. I did a video which I will put a link to in the description on all the videos that are currently available from the motion for summary judgment that are unsealed. And there was a lot to talk about. There was so much to unpack from, all of the videos collectively. But this one, I think it tells a lot. I think this is probably even more important than the dance scene, the slow dance scene video, because it says so much. I think it's worth going back actually and just looking at the video and then contrasting that to Lively's complaint. So I think let's refresh our memories of what she said. This is her initial complaint. This is not one of the amended ones. This is the initial one she came out with. So later that day, Mr. Baldoni pressured Miss Lively, who was in her pre-approved wardrobe. Pre-approved by who? She approved the wardrobe. See, now I know so much stuff about this case, I'm going back and I'm like being far more critical of this than I was the first time I read it in the early months of this. So Lively was in a pre-approved wardrobe. Baldoni allegedly pressured her to remove her coat in front of the crew and multiple background actors in a packed bar. Right. Okay. You gotta remember, the way this is being painted like is remove your coat as if she's naked under it. There's no, this the insinuation. So if she removes her coat, she's still got layers on top, including a onesie. They're all in onesies. This is not unusual. He said that he wanted to see her onesie under the coat because it was zipped low to reveal her lace bra. And it's that bit so I want to go back and did he mention the bra? Because the way that line is written suggests that he said he wanted to see the onesie because, and he qualified that with because it's zipped low and I can see your lace bra, and I don't think that was said. That's because I was looking at this complaint for something else after I had done my initial video on kind of the videos, and I was like, surely not, he does not mention bra. So I'm going to go back and look. I haven't looked at the video. I'm doing that in a second. Okay, then she says, consistent with past practice, he said, I think you look sexy. That is your past practice. Oh my God. This is the same woman who, in the same series of videos, is talking to male crew members about how sexy her very uncomfortable boots are. I think you look sexy in a tone that made her feel ogled and exposed. Okay, well, let's look at her reaction, because I'm sure I commented on that as well. I'm sure I pointed out, well, hold on a minute, she's laughing, she looks relaxed. They both do. So just, referring to Jenny Slate. What is going on with other female cast members present? I mean, there's one main female cast, and that is Jenny Slate. That may refer to all the background actors. With other female cast members present, she said, that's not what I'm going for. Okay. We have all seen text messages where she specifically says that's what she is going for. She's going for sexy for her character's wardrobe. Okay. Let's have a look. let's have a look. I feel myself getting so annoyed the further into this lawsuit. By the time the trial comes around, I think I will be having a nervous breakdown. Oh, so frustrating. And actually, the other reason I wanted to retouch on this is because I have some thoughts as well with Justin Baldoni. And it's just thoughts. It's my opinion. I'm not trying to diagnose, and I'm not trying to, assert something as a fact. It's just something I thought about, and I spoke to my husband, who is a specialist mental health practitioner. And we, with our combined professional experience, and as well as our, personal experience of being around people who are neurodivergence, like with autism, dyspraxia, dyslexia, ADHD, oppositional defiance disorder, we have an array, a multitude of, oh God, I sounded like Blake Lively. No! We have an array of of experience in the professional environment and in the personal environment. So there are some thoughts. I just kind of want to put them out there, and just make them from what we know. So let's look at this video. Just look out for these little things. I will say as well, I I do find listening to this video quite hard. This is not a secret. I have said it before in other videos as well. I was actually born with a severe hearing impairment. So I've had surgery to try and correct, and it gave me very limited benefit. And I do sometimes, I don't like wearing them, but I do have bilateral hearing aids. I don't love wearing them because and if there's background noise, I'm still going to struggle because it amplifies the background noise as well as, the voice, the sound in front of you, like the person you're speaking to. It amplifies everything. So I do struggle a little bit with this video. I'm going to try my best. I know I covered one, I think it was Daily Mail had one which had some subtitles, and that helped a lot because I heavily rely on subtitles. I also rely heavily on lip reading, and obviously that's great when I can see the mouths moving, but there are people moving across in front of the camera. It can make it really difficult. I want to try and look more at the actual actions, the physical actions of the people, Jenny Slate, Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and just, I have an idea of what part now, specific statements are made. So it's like how does their face look? What's their expression? What are their hands doing? Like Blake Lively's amended complaint here also says afterwards, after Baldoni responded sarcastically with, I guess I missed the HR meeting, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't say HR, he walked away, and I don't remember him walking away. So I'm going to come back with fresh eyes and just look for those little things. Yeah, and I just get so annoyed that she's misrepresenting things which I think are perfectly innocent. Or it's a deliberate setup. That's the other option. Okay, so let's look at this video.
He was sitting here on the stool. Thank you so much.
Ready, everybody? We really should go, please. So again, who's gonna watch everything here? A wall comes in, right? So please make sure that nobody's standing right here, please. Okay. All right. We should go. Ready?
Sexy. So he just said sexy. He was really flippant, and then the first thing he does is point to his teeth to indicate to her, "You've got something in your teeth." So does that sound like he's? And that's before she's even reacted. He literally went from sexy to, "Oh, there's something in your teeth." I'm just gonna. I'll just say there at the point he says sexy, because I made that out very clearly. There. Immediately. Oh, and by the way, there's something in your teeth.
Toothpick, please. Viv, do you have a toothpick?
Yeah, right here.
Thank you.
I've seen a lot of people also say that the way that the assistant director, who I'm seeing rumors swirling that Blake Lively had her fired, possibly over this issue, which is just absolutely insane. People saying, "Oh, well, she embarrassed Blake Lively. She could have done it in a more discreet way." She didn't shout, "Hey guys, can you go and get a toothpick because Blake Lively's got spinach in her teeth?" She didn't say that. She just said, "Toothpick, please." Justin Baldoni was quite discreet by kind of pointed to his own teeth and said, something like, it was barely audible, right? And they're in that little group, and he's just, "Oh, something in your teeth." And then he has said, "Can we get a toothpick?" He hasn't actually said who for or why. And this lady has also turned around and said, "Can we get a toothpick, please?" That is it. I don't think there's anything embarrassing about that at all. I don't think it could have been handled any other way. At the end of the day, it would have been far more embarrassing for Blake Lively to have done a scene with something in her teeth and someone not said something. So that's just my interpretation of that. Had someone turned around and gone, "Oh my God, Blake Lively, she, still got a chunk of meat in her teeth. Go and get her a toothpick," then yeah, I can understand, like, it could have been handled more sensitively, but that did not happen. Someone just called for a toothpick, whilst Justin Baldoni quite discreetly pointed to his own teeth, not hers. So, but also, it was immediately after he said sexy. So that does not strike me as he is suggesting that something is sexy when he's also noticing something in her teeth, Me and my husband, we looked at this video, we looked at the Boots video, we looked at the text messages as well, where the use of sexy is being kind of thrown around. Now, we know from various text messages, we know from Justin Baldoni himself that he's diagnosed with neurodivergence. And I have 5 children. They are all diagnosed with autism. 2 have ADHD, and one of the one that has a dual diagnosis also has oppositional defiant disorder. In law, I did a lot of work, more the voluntary work, with charities like the National Autistic Society, and various charities that helped children who have like ADHD and autism, so on and so forth, who need help to claim benefits, help with school exclusions, admissions, what we have in the UK called statements, or now they're called education healthcare plans, which is like a statutory document which provides children with these, not just with these conditions, but my focus was on these conditions particularly, and the related other neurodivergent conditions. But children who needed like a statutory document where schools and sort of a bit later on, like colleges and so on and so forth, were compelled by law to provide resources and to put reasonable adjustments in place. And there are several points, whether it be just even requesting there's a long process to be assessed. It's like a 6-month process. And that's if they even get agreed to do an assessment. Getting one is hard, and there are a lot of children who are declined, so they can appeal, even if they are, the council will agree to assess them. They very often decline to issue one. And then there's appeal, and then you got all the, even if they agree to give you one, they may not give you what you want or what your child needs, and there are multiple points where this document might need an appeal. And even maintaining one, once you've got it and it's in place, at reviews and things, the council could say, well, your child is in this special needs school, we're not paying for that, or we're not going to fund their transport, like pay for transport to get the child to what may be a special needs school, which is quite a long distance from the family home compared to a normal mainstream school. So that was one of the things I did, and fought for those legal rights, and I represented them at tribunals and so on and so forth, and took on various councils and local authorities. The same with benefits, like if they needed, disability benefits, disability living allowance or PIP, I'll do all that. Now, these are kind of UK terms, so I appreciate other people from other countries may not understand all this, but just to give you a bit of a background, my husband, however, he works with particularly child and adolescent, but has also works as supplementary in the adult mental health teams as well. And obviously, he's done both community nursing and inpatient, and he has seen a wide array of people with neurodivergence in all forms on all levels of the spectrum. So we looked through this, and I want to give you that background because it's important to know the context I'm coming from. And again, these are our opinions. They are definitely not any kind of like diagnosis or this is definitely a fact, but it's something to be considerate of. And it's something that I think of when I watch this. People, especially with autism and with ADHD, it is very, very common. And I do this myself, right? For someone to mirror language, the words, the behavior, speech patterns, body language, the energy of another person that they are communicating with. And there is a very good reason for that. It is very difficult for people with neurodivergence to feel like they blend in, they fit in with other people. So what they do is they look at someone who they are communicating with, they see and watch how that person is fitting in, and then they mirror that, because what can go wrong? Well, I'm being like you, so how is that how can that possibly, how could I make a mistake here? And I think that is what Justin Baldoni is doing. If I had to guess, and it is a guess, I would say, well, he's using Lively's own words, and not necessarily, matching her energy and so on and so forth, but the way she speaks about her wardrobe, he is also using the same terms, the same references to refer to her wardrobe. And I think it is just so that it is to make her feel, one, heard, because she has said, she's the one that said, I want it to look sexy. That's what I'm going for. That was her text message. So he is now using that, I believe, to say, I heard you. You wanted it to look sexy, without saying all the words. And I think that's a big factor of what's going on. I think it is we know that Justin Baldoni has neurodivergence. I think he has ADHD from what I remember. As someone with ADHD myself, I have autism too. My parents have autism. My brothers have autism, and all 5 of my children are all diagnosed following formal processes with autism. And I see a lot of that in myself, and people might see it in the comments. I will return a comment all the time where possible. If I don't at least react to the comments on my YouTube videos, if someone puts up a heart, I will send a heart back. If someone puts up 3 hearts, I will send 3 hearts back, because I'm mirroring them. I don't think about it when I'm doing it, but when I go through I was going through my comments earlier on the video I put out earlier this morning, and I just noticed, whilst I was already in the cycle of thinking about neurodivergence and what is going on here, what could be going on here, I realized that actually I mirror people in the comments. I try to do that as a minimum. If someone asks a question, or there's like a comment that needs like an answer or a specific reaction, like someone says something funny and I just want to put up a laughing face emoji because the comment made me laugh, I will do that. But when it comes to, like, as an example, hearts, I notice that I seem to give as many hearts more often than not than I give as many as the person who put up the original comment with hearts. And I think it's just something, I think people who don't necessarily have neurodivergence can do this too. So I'm not saying it's exclusive, but we do know that Justin Baldoni is diagnosed with ADHD, and he has talked about it. And it also come up in some of the documents as well. If you remember, Blake Lively tried to compel his medical records about his neurodiversity, his neurodivergence, and I think it was Kevin Fritz clapped back and said, if you try to compel this, then we will bring it to the judge's attention how you found out about it in the first place, alluding to Van Zandt. So Lively didn't push the issue anymore, to my knowledge. And that's a bit of a tangent. I just think it's something that no one is really talking about. And it's quite an important area for me, because I see time and time again, I've seen it in my legal work, that, things get taken out of context, when it comes to neurodivergent people. They misunderstand, or if they do try to do something like mimic, or the echolalia that can come with it. Echolalia is where they are literally copying what someone else has said to them, word for word. That I'm not thinking echolalia here, like in that terms of, but I think there's mirroring going on, and I think Justin Baldoni is trying to do it to be considerate and to try and let Blake Lively know that she has asked for a particular look for the wardrobe, and he is trying to give it to her. And for some reason, she has now twisted that all out of shape and filed it under sexual harassment. And that is what pisses me off so much about this case. It's something that occurred to me right from the start, but this is such a great opportunity to really look at that and think about it from that perspective. So I didn't want to miss that opportunity. I think that's what is going on here. So we'll continue with the video. But now he has said sexy. He's already talked about, can you take the coat off? Can we see what it's like with it off? Are you sure you're going to be uncomfortable? So he's saying to her, are you sure you're going to be uncomfortable? I didn't hear him say anything in lead up to sexy. I just heard the word sexy. But then immediately when he went to something which was entirely unsexy, which was, oh, I think you've got something in your teeth. And I did comment. Sorry. I did comment. I think like she was picking at her teeth for quite some time, so whatever was in there was wedged in real good. But there was, there didn't seem to be any discomfort from her. But let's continue. Right. Okay. So he's just done the whole sexual harassment thing. I'm going to try that again. But he's talking to Jenny Slate. We can't see I can't see what she's saying, even if that person wasn't standing there in the middle, because her back of her head is facing me. We can try again a little with Justin Baldoni, but he looks relaxed. He doesn't look like he's being terrible. Okay, let's try that again. He looks fine. She's laughing.
Whatever you do, you're always pantomime talking to one another. You're always saying something, right? About the game.
Yeah, I'm going over there next to Hassan.
Okay, I'm just gonna go back there again a minute. Sorry. It's hard because they move the camera and everything as well, and it's just like...
Whatever you do, you're always pantomime talking to one another. You're always saying something, right? About the game.
Yeah, I'm going over there next to Hassan.
She's still picking her teeth.
All right, we should go.
Oh, really?
Looks good for you?
Oh, yeah. In the voice?
Yeah. I mean, it's all I do. It was really not a good team.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah,
I used to like roll.
Looks like
Was it ice?
it was nice.
It was ice?
All right, thank you.
I mean, I can see now.
Justin, you good, sir?
I'm good.
Ready? Here we go. Ready, everyone. High energy. Have fun. Get some
She's pretty warm. She just rolled up her sleeve.
Have fun, right?
Right, so this is... She has just said, we're good. So I'm just going to bring that back slightly. I think that was the follow-up bit. So it looks like Jenny Slate has been talking to Justin. He was listening. It's not necessarily about anything that was just said or done or anything like that. So I'm not saying that. It could have been about anything. It could have been about the scene. But it looks like the subject has come back about something. Blake Lively says it's good or we're good. And then she looks like she touches his arm. Yeah. Touches his arm.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Sophia, are you here? No. Can I put these links together? Thank you. All right. Thanks, everyone. Yep. Indeed.
Also,
This
he
is
just
Thank you. All right. Ready and. Thank you. Everybody good?
What about having a jacket?
Yeah, it's at this point actually he is saying, what about having your jacket off? I just heard that. Did everyone hear that? I thought, because people are saying it happens earlier, but I heard it there. I'm going to try and turn the volume up. I don't know how much more I can turn it up. This might be really loud, so I'll turn it down if it is. Oh, okay. I heard I think it's okay. So I want to go back a bit.
All right, ready, and
Yeah.
thank you. Everybody good?
What about having a jacket?
There you go. What about having your jacket off? I think it's okay.
Here we go. Ready, everyone?
We just have to make it watch very closely.
Yeah, they will. They're right here. Yeah. We'll make sure that we last look after every take. It's very sweaty in here. All right.
Very sweaty in here.
I'm sorry. Good, Justin. Good, everyone. Ready? Have fun, and let's roll, please.
Lily, what are you drinking?
Oh, yeah, you're right. And Beamer?
And we're talking a little bit
Okay.
louder.
Right, and pantomime only for us. Thank you very much. Ready, and background, and action.
Lily, what are you drinking?
I'll have wine, please. Thank you. Okay.
You are not getting one. You're in a onesie. You don't get free wine.
Whatever you guys, I'll have whatever you're serving.
Okay,
Surprise me. Yeah.
there we go.
Okay.
Water. Come on, lady, love. Did you just say water?
I don't know, honey. Yeah, he did. Wait, what?
Okay, we were not gonna tell you here, but
Stop it.
definitely.
I'm gonna be a dad! I know.
I'm gonna be the mom. Yeah.
What? What?
I don't know.
I know.
And again, I just wanted to read, because I pointed this out in my original video, and I think it's really important. That woman is fanning herself. That is how hot it is. I mean, you've got all the lights, all the machines, all the people, and it was a hot day anyway, and they're all in multiple layers of warm winter clothing. She is fanning herself with a bunch of papers because it's hot. Not Blake Lively's hot. Just pause that because I believe yeah, let me just go back because he asked, so if we go back to this, right, this bothers me, right, and details matter. This bothers me, right? The first thing she says in this line was to remove her coat. Yeah, but actually that just came after this line. So obviously he didn't say HR meeting, he said sexual harassment training. He also did not walk away, but the order that this is happening in does not match this complaint, because he has the whole thing about missing the HR meeting in response to the "I think you look sexy" thing. So he says sexy first, right? I'm going to actually do this differently. I'll color. Oh, yeah. I'll color code actually. And it's nitpicky, right? But it bothers me. And this is why, you know, why I went into law and why I had quite a successful career, like for the most part, for what I did up until my domestic violence. So 1, I think you look sexy. Then if we change the color to blue, then this was the second thing that happened, right? I guess I missed the HR meeting and walked away. And then if we go here, this was actually the last thing that happened. So I think you look sexy was the first thing in that entire sequence, right? What's in this complaint here, and the way it is been mapped out, the sequence of events that have been put in this complaint. The first thing that actually happened is in pink, purple, whatever color that is, and it's Baldoni saying the word sexy. And I didn't hear him say, I think you look sexy. I just heard sexy. He might have been agreeing with her. My personal opinion is there's nothing sexy about a onesie. But that's me. As for some reason, there was some kind of, and at least she says it was sarcastic. At some point, for whatever reason, because we can't hear Jenny Slate, Justin Baldoni and Jenny Slate are engaged in a conversation, and then he kind of says the joke, I guess I missed the sexual harassment training, right? And pulled that face, which is quite amusing. He was clearly being sarcastic because he has provided evidence, which is part of the motion for summary judgment, actually, of the presentation on sexual harassment training that he had only a couple of weeks before filming started. So it was definitely sarcasm because he went to the training, but also we don't know the full context of why it was said. And I believe that Lively is applying the same logic that she did to the Madison Square Gardens comment from Friedman. Clearly, it was a joke. It was meant as satire. And Lively should know what satire means because Judge Lyman ruled that Nice Pool was satire. It was clearly Baldoni being satirical for whatever reason and just probably having a laugh. But, you know, they were not bothered. They were still smiling and laughing with him. They both actually touched his arm. Seemed completely unfazed. But then the part that she says happened first actually happened after those. He recommended that she remove her coat and says, you know, do you want to take it off? It's hot in here. Now, I'm not saying that he also didn't mention the coat at the start of the conversation, but the part where he suggested removing her coat was actually afterwards. And she suggests then, right, where she says, I guess I missed the HR meeting and walked away. She suggests that that's the end of their interaction. And then at that point, then she alleges that a woman on production spoke to her afterwards to offer empathy and to share her own similar experiences with Mr. Baldoni, commenting about her in sexual terms. So, one, who is that woman on production? That's likely to be Jenny Slate, who made a complaint about Baldoni using the word sexy to describe her character's black leather pants. Or for the UK viewers, trousers. But Baldoni did not walk away, and that was not the end of their interaction. He literally stepped aside to give his drink to someone and then come right back. I wonder if that was what Jenny Slate, though, was talking about, was that experience. Justin Baldoni was probably feeling rather confused at how blown out of proportion this all is. just some thoughts. You know, may mean something, may mean nothing, but it's important to go back sometimes and just have another look and have another look. And again, I do want to point out the absolutely raging hypocrisy here of what Lively is alleging, right?
The reason they're so sexy is because it's just like naked foot, like Cinderella, but there's no pocket. So if your phone is hitting wood, it is. It's actually really cool. And I did it before.
So she is moaning about those shoes whilst trying to say, oh yeah, no, they're sexy, but she can't even get off the floor without help, and she needs to sit down. That's how comfortable they are. Bone hitting wood. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. Still waiting on the opposition for the motion for judgment on the pleadings. So hopefully that will come in, you know, soon. Well, not soon, but I'm anticipating it's going to come late at night, probably into tomorrow for me. So I will deal with that when I can. All right. Have a good day, guys.